Welcome to Elevate Massage Heights podcast. This is Shane Evans, your co-founder and president. And today on Elevate, I am happy to announce that we have the one and only Chad Reid. Woo! Yes, we need like clapping background noise or something, right? Chad is the vice president of operations for our strategic partner, Jen Burlington. Jen Burlington, as many of you know, is a multi-unit retreat owner. She has 3 in San Antonio, Texas. Jen is also the area rep for Dallas. And again, Chad is her right-hand man in helping to support that market. Jen and Chad and team have won Franchisee of the Year 2 times, not once, but twice. We have 2016 and 2017. They've won the Pinnacle Sales Award. They've been granted with the fastest growing location awards and a number of others. As a matter of fact, we were just talking how in 2017, Chad said that Jen should not have worn heels, that she should have worn some sneaks because she was called on and off the stage multiple times, as was the team.
She was running laps.
She was running laps, and so were you,
Yes.
and Lauren as well, and almost every year. And you guys have a really, really great team and have been around for quite some time. Obviously, a lot of cohesiveness there because of just the amount of time you guys have been together, the trust that's been built, and all of that. Tell me a little bit about, number one, how long have you been with Massage Heights?
So I will be with Massage Heights 11 years in June.
11?
Yeah, so longer than a lot of the SPs have been around.
Oh my goodness, 11 years.
Yep, I started about 3 months after Jen opened Leon Springs.
That is crazy. Time really does fly.
Yeah.
So you were like 5 years old or
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
when
like
you...
6.5, but yeah, pretty close. Yeah, no, that's a running joke is that I was like born at Massage Heights.
Yeah, you really were. And Lauren almost too. 'Cause
Yeah,
she
she's
started
been here.
back then as well.
Yep, she started for you actually at Stone Oak
yes, at Stone Oak.
about 10 years ago, and
Yeah,
she's worked for us for about 8.
Yeah, along with Nicole at that time, right?
Yep.
So, gosh, it's unbelievable. We're getting ready to celebrate our 15th anniversary
We're
in
so excited.
April, and that's a big achievement. But gosh, to know that we have a team member that has been with us for 11 years is also a big achievement and a testament to Jen and the culture that you guys have there. And I know you are so much part of that. Obviously, it starts at the top, and she must be a really great leader for you to stick around that long.
She is. Yeah, I mean, I actually tell people even when I'm interviewing them that it's like, if you haven't had a chance to meet Jen yet, you need to, because I wouldn't have told you, 10 years ago that I'd be in the spa industry, let alone being in the same place. And it's a testament to just how amazing she is and how well she takes care of her team.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys have a lot of people who have worked with you for a long time as well. So again, it's not just the top that she's taking care of. She's taking care of lots of people. You guys are together. You make a good team. Well, tell me about your background. I know a little bit about it, but I'd love for you to share it with our franchisees and operators that are listening. What did you do before Massage Heights?
So I wasn't 10. I was 18. But so my first job in high school was as a server at a restaurant down in San Antonio. And I moved up into training and bartending and then into salary management in about 9 months. I worked for David Burlington, which same last name as Jen. It's her brother.
Yeah.
And he owns the Friendswood location in Houston now.
Yes.
But Jen called us about 3 months after she opened, and she'd gone through a few retreat directors, and she said, I just can't find the management that I want. So she called Dave and said, please, Dave, please help me. And he said, well, can I bring Chad? Because he's like my right hand. So so that's how I ended up at Massage Heights.
That's
and then,
how that happened.
Yeah, almost 11 years ago. And I worked for Jen and another franchisee in San Antonio for a little while, and he's not in the system anymore. He closed his locations, but I worked for him very briefly, and it made me appreciate what I had withJen.
Yep.
And so that's where I've been since.
It's all about the people, isn't it?
Yes,
It
100% about the people.
It really is about the people. It makes a big difference when this is something you spend so many hours per week on.
Yeah.
The people you do it with are important.
Yeah, I mean, they say people don't leave jobs, they leave people. And
Yeah.
they leave bad managers, they leave bad, owners, and that's because they want to feel appreciated. So.
Yep, that's exactly right. So that's it. Restaurant?
Yep, that's it. it. And then while I worked for it, because I had to wear 700 hats, I also I was a performer at Six Flags in
That's what I was
Fiesta,
looking
Texas.
for.
Yeah. So I'm not shy of being on camera, that's for sure.
I
But
know.
so I worked there for technically it was like 12 seasons, but it's 4 years because they're broken up into seasons. And I was a main stage performer there, so I sang and danced and acted. So that's kind of the energy that I bring into the retreat, and I feel like why it's like if I was a different title, I'd call myself like a chief motivational officer
Yeah.
because that's what I like to do. I like to make people happy and laugh, and I think that's kind of the culture that we've created over the last decade.
Absolutely. I can completely see that. What do you believe is your I think you just told me, but what do you believe is your greatest asset and the thing that you bring to the table based on those tools that you learned over the years in those prior roles?
I do think that it's I like to motivate people and keep them happy. I mean, if you watch the cameras at our retreat, you'll see me goofy and dancing around the hallway and trying to help the therapists and changeovers and things like that, and interacting with clients. And I think that type of energy is what you have to be really successful. We talk about rapport building and talking to clients, and I was in another retreat this week, and everyone was sitting there quiet with a new guest in the lobby, and I went over and talked to him for 20 minutes about the
Yeah.
10 places that he's lived in the last 20 years. It's just you have to you have to find some way to engage with people, and I think that's probably what I learned being in the restaurant industry, and then being, of course, on a performing stage is that it's all about the people that are in the audience. You're there for their entertainment. So how do you bring that value to them? And so that's kind of the approach that I've taken in Massage Heights is what value do I bring to my team so that they'll be motivated and want to help us succeed.
Yeah, I think that's a good group of experiences that if we could just replicate, can we just clone you? And
I'm trying. Lauren doesn't want to have kids yet, but we're working on it now.
well, and we'd still have to wait like 18 years.
Yeah,
for...
exactly. I mean, child labor laws. So we'd have to wait 16 or 18 years. So, yeah.
But good qualities is really what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I mean, you are you're energetic, you're positive, you had some business experience and customer service experience and all those things. And when people start looking for who they want to run their $500,000 businesses, if it's not going to be them, what are the characteristics we should be looking for, and what are the prior experiences that we should be looking for? And I think that's a good combination of experiences.
Well, thanks. I would say, one of the things coming from Six Flags, it was a joke for a while that I was like placing all the performers at locations in San Antonio because performers naturally, they're not afraid to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the biggest job that the front desk has is customer service and selling memberships, and they're not afraid to talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
it made it a lot easier, the transition. So
Yep.
people that are not afraid to be in front of other people, the ones that pay attention to really details. So like, we've recruited people from like Starbucks because they high volume, they're used to high stress, they pay attention to details because if you mess up somebody's coffee, it's like it starts their day off wrong. So those are the types of qualities we look for when we're trying to hire somebody for a front desk position.
Yeah, so there you go, family. You need to go hire entertainers and baristas. And I know I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I think Starbucks employees are great. They're a great example of people that we should be looking for. They're trained well, they're positive, they're professional, and they're used to that pressure, like you said, the speed to getting things done and right. I found Chick-fil-A employees to be another really great. We recruited, I think, one of our very first employees out of a Chick-fil-A line. She just every time we go through there, she was just great, And I thought, wow, we need her to come to work for us, and she did. She came to work for us at Stone Oak and was there for a very long time.
That's
So,
awesome.
anyway, there's lots of ways to recruit people, but the bottom line, I think, is what you're getting to is you want people that are not afraid to talk to people, you're not afraid to ask for the sale,
Yeah.
and that understand that the guests come first, right? Our team members really have to come first for the guests to come first,
Yes.
but that we have to take care of the guest needs. So.
Yeah, I mean 100%. If they're not motivated to be that person or they don't really vibe that way, it's more difficult for them to be successful, and you can't really give them. I always say you can teach somebody a skill, but you can't teach them to be a good person. And that's massage therapists. It's the same thing. You can teach them how to get better technique wise, but if they're not good, honest people, and they're not loyal to you as a brand, and then it's not going to work out the way you want it to. So.
Sure. How do you know? So, I mean, other than looking at the experience on an application, for instance, what is something that you do, or maybe even a question that you ask to validate what you believe to be a potential great lifestyle consultant, for instance? Are there certain questions that you ask during an interview process, or behavioral things that you do? Is there anything?
Yeah, I mean, so we have a pretty intense interview process. We learned a long time ago. Actually, it's something that Brian Reid came and consulted with us, and he was getting good results. So we said, Brian, what are you doing? How do you get good front desk? And he said, we bring them in for a shadow shift. We make sure that they fit with the culture of the business, and that my team also likes them. So it's not just whether we think they're a good fit, but does the team also think that they're a good fit? Because if they don't fold in together very well, if there's personality clashes, it doesn't matter how great they are on paper. If they can't actually get along with the team that we've already established, then it causes a rift in the system.
Yeah.
So we incorporated a lot of that, and a bad front desk hire can cause you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in revenue.
Absolutely.
Just because they're not selling or they're not motivated, or they don't really care. So but we start with a phone interview, and it's not a 5-minute phone interview. Hey, thanks for applying. How'd you hear about us? When can you come in? It's what exactly brought you to Massage Heights? What's your favorite part about working at the place you are now? What's your least favorite part? And then we want to make sure those things match what we can offer or what we don't offer if they didn't like it, so that we know that it's going to be a good fit coming in. And then they come in, and then we do a more intense in-person interview, and we have them shadow the front desk, and we give them a little script to come back and learn and present to us and show that they're motivated to actually go through the process, because this is somebody they're going to have to work with, 40 hours a week for the next few years or however long they're there. So
how long do they shadow?
Anywhere from like an hour to 2 or 3 hours. It depends on the day. We try not to let them shadow on the weekends, just because it's like chaos and it's running around.
Yeah.
But we try to schedule them usually in the middle of the day, so it's a changeover, so the morning and the night crew get to meet them. They can interact with some therapists. And we don't do it as a training, so it's not they come in and we immediately start teaching them Zenoti.
Sure.
It's sit back. I want you to ask questions if you think of them. I want you to interact with people, talk to the guests, go to the back and talk to the therapists and figure out if this is the place that you want to work.
Yeah.
And then after they leave, then we ask the team, do you feel like this is a place that they should work?
I think that's so great. It's something similar that we do actually when new franchisees come to Discovery Day or Observation Day. Is it's really supposed to be an observation day. So what does the day in the life at Massage Heights look like? So we spend normally a couple hours in the retreat touring initially, right? And talking about the different programs, the build out, all those things. But it's really to give them kind of some concept of what's happening in the front end and the back end, so that they have an idea of, is this really something that I can see myself doing?
Yeah.
So I think that's a great tidbit. That is probably one of the best nuggets I've heard since we started the podcast.
Right,
really,
good.
we're not done. We're not done. You're gonna give us some more. But that was great. I mean, if that's a very thorough process. And you are right. Our lifestyle consultants are super, super important. They take that first phone call. They have got that first contact with the guest as they walk in the door. And by the way, our therapist, if you pay kind of the normal way, right? Therapists and lifestyle consultants make money on the membership sale, right? And so those LCs, the therapists are relying on the LCs to do the job. And that is, to give that good customer service and to go over the features and benefits of the program and to be diligent about it, right? And so they've got to be a good fit. And otherwise, it's, like you said, a lot of lost revenue.
Yeah, it's a whole team decision. I mean, they succeed or they fail together. So we have to make sure that they fit, across the board, that everyone's going to get along.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I hate to go away from that too much, but I wanted to ask you just a couple more questions that are maybe a little more personal and get to know you kind of questions. But what is your favorite Massage Heights value and why?
I think I would have to say loyalty. Loyal, definitely. I mean, I think when you are loyal to your team members, then they're going to show loyalty to you as manager or as an SP, and they'll be with you for a long time, so you don't have a lot of turnover in your team, which then creates a sense of loyalty in your customers, because they're not constantly coming in and they go, oh, I have to see another therapist because they left, or I don't know any of the faces at the front desk. We just recently we did a big management change in San Antonio, and our retreat director from our location at Leon Springs is a regional for corporate now, but we moved some of our managers around, and there was kind of a big culture shift, and we actually started getting positive reviews online about just our front desk.
Wow.
Like, oh my gosh, the people up there, they're so friendly, they just smile, they're excited to be there, they just love it. And because they've been with us for a long time, like we changed some people around, and so that loyalty to them and making sure that we take care of them. And it literally is reciprocated all the way down to our customers.
Absolutely. Yeah. Taking care of your team, the team's going to take care of the guests. So happy, what do they say? Happy employees equal happy customers,
Yes.
I think is
Yeah.
what
I
the
say
saying.
happy wife, happy life. So it's the same thing.
Kind of the same
Yeah.
thing, right? So what was your first encounter with Massage Heights, I guess, going back, was Jen calling her brother
Yep.
and saying, "Hey, yeah, I need a team," right? So
Yeah.
that was it. Did you go in and just for an interview, or did you go in or no, he didn't
No,
interview you
no.
because he came over to work,
Yep.
right? And
So
just brought you on.
it was my first day. I miserable because it was out in Leon Springs and I lived on the other side of town. So I was like 30 minutes late for my first day of work. So thank you, Jen, for keeping me. But I was late and walked in. They were doing a meeting and we just immediately started like going. I mean, the retreat director that she had was transitioning out. She was in the middle of a move. So we had about a week and a half with her where we had to pick her brain on how the systems worked and everything. And then we were going. So
Yeah.
my first massage ever was about 3 weeks after I started.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mary, I won't use her last name,
Yeah.
but it was a great massage. But she talked the whole time. So like one of the things I focus on in training is listen to your clients. If they want to talk, let them talk, and
Yes.
you don't be the one that initiates the conversation.
Yeah.
So, but that was my first intro to Massage Heights and massage. Yeah.
Very, very, very good. And how often do you get massages now?
Not practical massages. Actual massages is not as often as I should. It's probably once every 3-ish months.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of the interviews for the massage therapist. It's really split between Jen and I for our 3 locations. So I get a lot of practical massage. And so that's the good, bad, and the ugly, unfortunately. But luckily more good than bad or ugly. So that's a good thing.
That's good. That's good. Well, I know you guys have a lot of really great massage therapists, and I hear wonderful things from the people that I know that frequent the retreats that you guys operate. And
good.
I know you're running a phenomenal operation, and that has, again, everything to do with you and Jen and leadership, but the diligence that you're taking to hire the right people, whether that be a practical or the job shadowing or what have you. I won't ask you about the business model. Actually, I think that was probably a good thing. But well, I don't know if you were looking at this as a franchise opportunity for yourself. What is it about the business model that's most attractive to you?
So, I mean, it's funny. We talked beforehand and I said it didn't really choose me, or it chose me. I didn't really choose it.
Yeah.
But I guess in the long run, I kind of have chosen to stay with Massage Heights because there has been a lot of upward mobility for me just in the positions that I'm in and continuing to grow and taking over more stores and growing from an assistant to a retreat director to a regional manager to the VP of operations or chief motivational officer or whatever. So that's been great. But I mean, Jen and I talked early on, is there an opportunity for me to buy into this with you? Can I buy my own locations? Like, what does that look like in the long run? Because over the course of the last, decade, I've fallen in love with this concept and this business. And Jen and I have talked a couple times, do we diversify? Do we open something else? Do we do a restaurant or, lashes or whatever? And at the end of the day, we go, no, because this is the best business. It's such a feel-good business. And when people can walk in and then walk out when their life is totally changed, that's where you want to be. So I would pick this concept in a heartbeat. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So you love it because of the feel-good aspect of it, or is there anything else about it that you think makes it an attractive model?
There are very few, I think, really businesses in general that are not only good for people like health-wise, but also that can make them happy. And what I love about massage is it's getting to be more and more mainstream where people don't look at it as the luxury anymore.
Yep.
And that's what I loved about Massage Heights. The concept when I first got to learn about it, like when it opened and how it became a franchise and all that was, the goal was bring massage to the masses, basically. How do we get it so that it's affordable for people? So, I mean, I wouldn't choose any other concept, but I love the people aspect of it. I love the fact that I get to interact with customers on a daily basis, even though, most of my job is in an office now and holding people accountable for things and phone calls and things like that. But I love the aspect that I still have members that call me on my cell phone. They go, "Who do you recommend?" I'm like, well, we'll call the retreat and ask them. But yes, I would recommend this person for you. So
I have people ask me the same thing too. I'm like, I really don't know. Like, call Sarah though; she
Yes,
can help you out.
she can answer the questions.
Yes. I'll try my best. But I have my few that I see when I go, but I have a hard time getting massage anywhere because I constantly talk. I'm looking for information.
Yeah.
I'm picking things apart, unfortunately, too, and finding the great things as well
Yes.
that we can bring back into our organization. So it doesn't matter where I go for massage, I end up just not really even relaxing. So
It's always work, work, work.
it's always
Yeah.
work. But hey, that's the kind of work you get to do when
Yeah.
you're R&D at massage and spas and things like that. That's not bad. I don't
Yeah,
get to
sign
do it
me
very
up.
often, but yeah, no kidding. Well, you're getting those practicals,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
you're signed
That's
up.
true.
You're signed up. So what is your let me ask you this. Who elevates your life on a regular basis? We talk about, elevating the everyday at Massage Heights and, at corporate, we feel it's our responsibility to elevate the lives of our franchisees and for them to elevate the lives of their team members and then the team members of the guests. So who elevates your life on a regular basis when you've got to get up and do the hard things and you need that pump or, somebody to cheer you on?
Yeah, it's Lauren. I mean, what's nice is we've been pretty successful in working together for a long time. We actually met at a job prior to that when we were serving. And so we've worked together for a long time. So not only in the personal aspect, but in the business aspect, it's somebody that understands and that can come to me and go, hey, I'm having this problem. Or I can go to her and go, hey, I'm having this problem. How should I look at this? Because I'm getting super frustrated by it. And so, I mean, she's the love of my life, so she makes it better all the way around. But the fact that we can also work together and it continues to make things better there, it's awesome. So
yeah, you guys are a precious couple, and it's cool to see that y'all have been together for so long and you work together and that you're able to make that work as well. So I love that. Thank you so much. And I know just talking to you, why your team is so successful, and you are such a great asset to not just Jen, but to our system. So
thank you.
yeah,
I appreciate
super great. Now that you've heard from us, we would love to hear from you. If you've got questions or have a guest that you'd like to hear from specifically, or a guest that has already been on and you'd like to hear more from, or some very specific questions from, please email us at communications@massageheights.com. In addition, we would love for you to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And hey, talk it up. There's lots of good stuff here. Thank you. And as always, elevate the everyday.